binobombard siya nung pinupuntahan siya doon at siya sabihan na huwag yung gusto namin na mangyari, gawin mo na para makalabas ka na dito sa kulungan. Hindi nag-give in si Colonel Rijaldo. Kinulong siya hanggang natapos ang 19th Congress. So, Mr. President, sila ay takot sa kanilang ginagawa mismo. Hindi po yan gagawa ng Senado na mag-impluensya ng resource person. Never pa nangyari yan na mayroong pumunta doon sa baba, tinakot yung nakakulong contempt, cited in contempt na resource person. Gawain nila yan sa House of Representatives.
Maisip niya na dapat sana mapahiya na siya sa sarili niya kung meron pa siyang kahihiyan. Dapat naman sana, nung siya'y mag-request ngayon sa House of Representatives, hindi po sa kanya dapat manggaling ang request kung saan siya magko-custody. Ang custody po yung natapos na. Nagsalita na po ang Blue Ribbon Committee. Bakit po hindi man lang nakonsulta ang Blue Ribbon Committee? Bakit kailangan po ang House of Representatives Speaker ang mananaig sa kanyang request? Kalabisan na po ba ang Blue Ribbon Committee noong araw na yun, Mr. President?
May I be clarified on what date that transpired? Yesterday or
September 8 po.
Monday?
Yes, Mr. President.
Majority Leader.
Monday was the hearing here in the Senate. Monday he was cited in contempt.
Yeah.
But the hearing in the House was on Tuesday, September 9.
Yes, those
And
Tuesday. So in the evening, when yesterday, no. So in the evening, when the Speaker called me, Senator Marcoleta was no longer chairman of the Blue Ribbon.
No more because we had already elected
It was
Senator
already Senator Lacson.
Lacson. Yes.
Ibig bang sabihin po, Mr. President, nawawala ng visa yung ginawa namin?
Hindi. He's
Ganun po pala.
He's still in legal custody.
Dapat po,
Therefore,
igagalang po kung ano yung aming iniwan.
yes, you're,
Doon tayo magsisimula.
Ang iniwan ninyo, cite in contempt.
Hindi
And
po.
illegal
Nasa
custody
legal
of the
custody
Senate.
na po ng
He was still
ng House.
under the legal
ng,
custody of
ng
the Senate.
Mr. President, may I ask for a minute suspension?
Commission, we are practically addressing that already, right there in the bill. All right, thank you. Senator, are you giving way? Senator
you, Mr.
Marcoleta is
President.
recognized.
May I have the permission, Mr. President, to read your letter addressed to the House Infrastructure Committee dated September 8, 2025. This is to formally approve your request for Mr. Bryce Hernandez to attend your hearing tomorrow, September 9, 2025, 9 a.m. at the People's Center House of Representatives. We expect that he be returned safely immediately after the said hearing to the Senate. So this is very categorical, Mr. President. Their request that he be called for hearing in the House of Representatives was conditioned upon his safely return to the Senate. There is no need for a motion, Mr. President. I was still the chairman of Blue Ribbon Committee at the time, and it was very clear that we committed him to the custody of our Sergeant-at-Arms. Not in Quezon City, not anybody else. And so, as already asked by Senator Alan, we are not supposed to change the rule. I move, Mr. President, that he be back immediately to the custody of the Senate, not only because this is the condition that you gave them, but more importantly, in order to erase the perception that if he is here in the Senate, he is not safe. I will reject the idea that if he returns in the Senate, manganganib ang buhay niya. It is as if that we're giving credence to his statement, which I believe is not true, Mr. President.
Mr. President.
Majority Leader.
Yes, Mr. President, with due respect to our colleague, Senator Marcoleta, there was an intervention. Actually, he was supposed to come back to the Senate. But the Speaker of the House had intervened and asked if he can be kept in the House, which you did not agree. And you said that we will put him in the PNP Custodial Center under the custody still of OSA and the Senate.
Legal custody of the
Yes.
Senate.
So, when he wrote the letter, Your Honor, wala pang intervention. So walang kasalanan dyan si Senate President. He was going to bring him in, but we are not bending any rule.
But
Because
the
the Senate
request-
President already has said the rule.
Mr.
which
President,
allows
the
us-
request of the Speaker of the House of Representatives is inconsequential here. Legal or otherwise, the custody must be here. They are only asking us to lend him to their committee. The legal custody is still acquired by the Senate. And then, the committee was the one who ordered him to be legally detained in the custody of the Senate. The committee was the one who did that, not the Speaker of the House of Representatives. He could request that. But we are sorry to deny that
Maybe,
because
Mr.
the legal
President,
custody,
Mr. President, yeah.
legal or physical, is still with the Senate.
Mr. President, I think the points raised by Senator Marcoleta are valid. There's just, I think at the time, the witness had no fear of his life, but now he has fear of his life. We will guarantee that he's safe, even if he's in the Senate. No, so we're guaranteeing his safety if he's here in the Senate. But let's also be transparent, Your Honor, because I think the question there is kung meron bang mag-influensya pa sa kanya
That was the point of the
Later on.
minority leader.
Correct.
There might be a perception that if he's here, he might be influenced by someone. That is also
Correct, Mr. President.
the minority leader made mention of that.
And that's why I believe the Senate President made the decision to keep him in a neutral area, which is the PNP Custodial Center. But then again, Mr. President, we're a deliberative body. If the body would wish him back here to the Senate, then we can discuss it further.
Mr. President, just a quick intervention.
Go ahead, Senator Lacson.
I would like to echo the earlier manifestation of the majority leader. Yung letter po ng ating Senate President was valid before the intervening event occurred. So we cannot invoke the letter of the Senate President kasi wala pa yung intervening event na mayroong request from the Speaker of the House. And the Senate President, you know, using his own wisdom, granted the request, but we have not given the legal custody of Bryce Hernandez to the House. We still maintain or retain the legal custody over his person. And as I mentioned earlier, kung kailangan siya ng House, they will have to seek permission from the Senate
Again,
President.
yes, so they are not in
Thank you, Mr.
custody.
President.
Yes, Senator
Mr.
De La Rosa,
President.
yes, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President,
You know,
Let Senator De La Rosa speak first. Go ahead.
we have a very sad experience, Mr. President. Because if the reason why the Speaker requested for Bryce Hernandez to be detained not in the Senate, because for fear of being influenced by anybody or any member of the Senate. Alam mo, Mr. President, Colonel Grijaldo nag-testify dito sa ating committee about the wrongdoings of the members of the Quadcom. Nagsumbong siya dito, Mr. President. And after he read his statement, sabi niya sa amin, Sir, can I be protected by the Senate? Dahil alam ko pinag-initan ako ngayon ng House. So, I share the information to the committee and even to the leadership of the Senate. But the following day, or the days after, he was required to appear before the Quadcom and he was cited in contempt. Nang siya ay na-contempt, kinulong siya doon. At nang kinulong siya doon, look what happened. Binubombard siya doon, pinupuntahan siya doon at sinasabihan na huwag yung gusto namin na mangyari, gawin mo na para makalabas ka na dito sa kulungan. Hindi nag-give in si Colonel Grijaldo. Kinulong siya hanggang natapos ang 19th Congress. So, Mr. President, sila ay takot sa kanilang ginagawa mismo. Hindi po yan gagawa ng Senado na mag-impluensya ng resource person. Never pa nangyari yan na mayroong pumunta doon sa baba, tinakot yung nakakulong contempt, cited in contempt na resource person. Gawain nila yan sa House of Representatives. Ginawa nila kay Colonel Grijaldo. Kaya huwag tayong basta-basta bumigay sa kanila dahil we should be independent from them, Mr. President. Hindi natin sila dapat sundin kung anong kagustuhan nila. We have to stand on our own. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President,
Yes, Senator Marcoleta.
noong pong September 8, 2025, ako pa rin po ang chairman ng Blue Ribbon Committee. Ang Blue Ribbon Committee po ang nag-approve ng legal and physical custody nung ma-cite in contempt si Bryce Hernandez. Nung makiusap po ang Speaker ng House of Representatives sa inyo, di po ba dapat nakonsulta naman ang chairman ng Blue Ribbon Committee? Dahil kami po, ginawa namin yon through the collective wisdom of the committee. Hindi po namin gawa-gawa yon. Kaya lang namin siya sinite in contempt sapagkat halos ipamukha na namin sa kanya ang mga datos. Ibinigay ko na sa kanya ang lahat ng ipinanalo at ipinatalo niya sa kasino. Pati yung ginagamit niyang dalawang ID na galing sa LTO, ayaw pa niyang aminin. Ganon po yung nangyari. Gusto lamang namin siyang turuan ng leksyon para sa ganon kahit papano baka maisip niya na dapat sana mapahiya na siya sa sarili niya kung meron pa siyang kahihiyan. Dapat naman sana nung siya'y mag-request ngayon sa House of Representatives, hindi po sa kanya dapat manggaling ang request kung saan siya magko-custody. Ang custody po yung natapos na. Nagsalita na po ang Blue Ribbon Committee. Bakit po hindi man lang nakonsulta ang Blue Ribbon Committee? Bakit kailangan po ang House of Representatives Speaker ang mananaig sa kanyang request? Kalabisan na po ba ang Blue Ribbon Committee noong araw na yun, Mr. President?
May I be clarified on what date that transpired? Yesterday or
September 8 po.
Monday?
Yes, Mr. President.
Majority Leader.
Monday was the hearing here in the Senate. Monday he was cited in contempt.
Yeah.
But the hearing in the House was on Tuesday, September 9.
Yes, those
And as,
Tuesday. So in the evening, when yesterday, no. So in the evening, when the speaker called me, Senator Marcoleta was no longer chairman of the Blue Ribbon.
No more because we had already elected
It was
Senator
already Senator Lacson.
Lacson. Yes.
Ibig bang sabihin po, Mr. President, nawawala ng visa yung ginawa namin?
Hindi.
Ganun po pala.
He's still in legal custody.
Dapat po,
Therefore,
igagalang po kung ano yung aming iniwan.
yes,
Doon tayo magsisimula.
Ang iniwan ninyo, cite in contempt.
Hindi
And
po.
illegal
Nasa
custody
legal
of the
custody
Senate.
na po ng
He
ano,
was
ng
still
House.
under the legal
Ng,
custody of
ng
the Senate.
Mr. President, may I ask for a minute to speak? Yes, Mr. President, therefore, yes, to be recognized, Senator.
Senator Jinggoy
Can I just make a
Estrada is
motion,
recognized.
Mr. President, Majority Leader? I move that we commit Bryce Erickson Hernandez to the Pasay City Jail, Mr. President.
I second the motion of the good
Any objection?
gentleman.
Chair is none. And the chairman of the Blue Ribbon concurs. Hearing no objection, the Bryce Hernandez is hereby
Mr. President, if I may, but just to put on record that it's with the understanding that the Senate retains its jurisdiction over that person, Mr. President. Just
Of
to put
course.
that on record, Mr. President.
Of
Thank you.
course, it has never been the opposite. It was always under our legal custody. So the motion is to transfer that particular person to
Pasay
the Pasay City
City
Jail.
Jail.
Any objection? Chair is none. Motion is approved. The Sergeant at Arms is hereby directed to transfer Bryce Hernandez to the Pasay City Jail as soon as possible.
Just a manifestation, if I may. Mr.
Senator
President.
Estrada,
Mr. President, I think we have to ask the OSA to be strict in implementing the rules with regard to the visitation hours of a prisoner, Mr. President. No visitors allowed. Only
Lawyers.
immediate members of the family, lawyers, priests, etc., etc. Thank you, Mr. President.
Yes, the Sergeant at Arms is hereby directed and make a list of those who will visit him.
Yeah, we'd like to
Thank you.
recognize Senator Marcoleta, Mr. President.
Senator Marcoleta is recognized.
Mr. President, meron po pong isang isyong naiwan dahil noong September 8 po, while I was still the chairman of the Blue Ribbon, napagkaisahan po ng komite dahil sa noong September 1, kung maalala po natin, as chairman, I floated the idea na para makatulong po kung mayroong gustong lumabas na doon sa 15 na kasama sa pagdinig, makakatulong po sila ma-identify po lahat ng mga kasabwat sa anomalyang paglalatag ng mga proyektong pang-flood control. Pinload po natin yung idea na kung gusto ninyo, ay kinakausap na po namin ng DOJ who may be provided by provisional immunity. Of course, pag-aaralan natin kung qualified kayo. Sa nakikita naman namin, basta hindi kayo most guilty at napakarami pong ibang mga requisites doon, tinignan po natin mabuti. After 1 week, Mr. President, dalawa pong mag-asawa, yung Diskaya, ang nagawa po ng sworn statement. Pero bago po niya nila gawin yon, ay siniguro ko po na talagang sila ay voluntary na gagawa ng sworn statement. Kaya yung pong kanilang emissary, sinabi ko, kailangan sumulat muna sila na talagang gusto nilang magsalita at walang halong pagsisinungaling ito. Yun ang option na gusto nila at narinig nila yung aming pinopload na option na sila'y lumabas bilang isang witness, state witness. Yun nga po ang nangyari, Mr. President, hanggang sa sila nga ay tumestigo sa komite, dala-dala at binasa nila yung kanilang sworn statement. Nang dahil po doon, Mr. President, ay gumawa kami ng sulat sa ating kalihim ng Department of Justice at yun nga po ay September 8, 2025. Gusto ko po nung malaman, Mr. President, ano po yung status noon sapagkat kayo na po ang pumalit na Senate President by the time.
Yes, the proposal and your intention is indeed, yes, it's laudable. We may be able to get state witnesses there, no? But that September 8, evening of September 8, when I was informed about it, what I did was to decide that the issue be referred to the Blue Ribbon Committee, especially knowing that there will be a new composition the following day. That was quite late at night when I received the notice.
Mr. President, if that happens, parang ang aming pong pinag-usapan noon while I was still the chairman of the Blue Ribbon Committee, parang nawalan po ng saysay. Ang mangyayari po noon, with all due respect, baka po ma-compromise o mawala po yung integrity ng proceedings natin. The integrity of the inquiry is very, very important here. Sila po ay pinangakuan namin sapagkat nagpapasaklolo sila. Alam nila na may panganib ang buhay, hindi lamang sa kanilang mag-asawa kung hindi yung pamilya nila. Kaya nakita po namin ang urgency. Mr. President, September 10 na po ngayon. Kung sakali pong totoo na nanganganib ang buhay nila, yun pong ipinangako namin na immunity sa kanila na makakatulong po. At yun naman po ang naging courage sa kanila para lumabas into the open and tell all. Nakita naman po ninyo, talagang initially nakapagsalita sila nung inaakala nilang kasangkot po allegedly sa mga maanumalyang paglalatag ng flood control projects. Kaya po, ang tanong ko ngayon, kailangan po bang pagpasyahan ng bagong liderato ng Blue Ribbon ang isang bagay na amin na pong naaproba nung kami po ay nandun pa sa Blue Ribbon?
Mr. President?
Majority Leader.
Yes, Mr. President. May I ask for a minute suspension so that both leaders, the former leader of the Blue Ribbon and the newly elected leader of the Blue Ribbon Committee, can discuss for just a few minutes this operational matter amongst themselves.
Wala pa po akong nakitang isang unanimous decision. Ewan ko lamang po kung merong magbo-volunteer ngayon na abogado.
It has happened before. In fact, the Supreme Court has reversed a unanimous decision in a lot of instances before.
May I know from the good senator if these decisions are bank decisions or divisions?
Yes, Mr. President, unbanked decisions po.
Well, you have to cite the
Gladly
jurisprudence.
cite the GR number po bang hinihingi, Mr. President?
Pagka sinabi pong bank, lahat po ng members ng Supreme Court, 15 of them, unanimous.
To
Kasi po,
reiterate what
baka division lang yan, dahil 5 lang yun. Hindi po
No,
bank
Mr.
yun.
President, to reiterate what I already said, mga ano po ito, mga reversal ng unanimous Supreme Court decisions.
Yes, but I am
Sa
asking for
dalawang
qualification,
halimbawang
Mr. President,
ibinigay ko
whether
po
these are bank
on
decisions
MR.
or decisions by a division.
In lieu of an interpellation of the good gentleman from Tarlac, I will be seconding a motion, Mr. President, preceded by a brief manifestation. Earlier, Mr. President, Senator Marcoleta said he refuses to speculate on reversal. But the good gentleman's own position is based on his own speculation that the SC will not reverse its decision. A tabling of the motion to dismiss, which is what I will second in a few minutes, Mr. President, a tabling of the motion to dismiss by the Senate today is not defiance of the Supreme Court. Wala pa nga po kasing final na decision. Kahit ang Korte Suprema po, iniintay pa ang comment ng VP. That is why I will be seconding the motion of the minority leader to table the motion to dismiss the impeachment complaint until the decision of the Supreme Court has attained finality. Tama po. We should exercise extraordinary prudence in this matter of transcendental importance. Still, I also wish to also take this opportunity to express my thoughts at this crucial moment for our chamber. Mr. President, I agree and I continue to respect the Supreme Court. Hindi po magbabago iyan. But Mr. President, hindi naman po ibig sabihin ng respeto ay pananahimik. Lalo na kapag inisip natin kung gaano kalaki ang nakataya dito. Magkaiba rin yung rumerespeto at yung bulag. Kaya naman, I will not be choosing silence, nor will I be turning a blind eye in the face of clear and unmistakable injustice. I am encouraged by the words of brave professors of the UP College of Law who in 2010 issued a sharp critique of a Supreme Court decision, Vinuya versus Executive Secretary, which said, the court cannot regain its credibility and maintain its moral authority without ensuring that its own conduct, whether collectively or through its members, is beyond reproach. So, in the context of the SC decision, Duterte versus House of Representatives, I believe we need to shed light on some concerns which former justices and constitutional framers themselves, some of whom are here this afternoon, Mr. President, have underscored. Una, the Supreme Court decision was based on critical factual errors. At binanggit na rin po ito ni Minority Leader. And this has since been pointed out by no less than retired Senior Associate Justice Antonio Carpio. For example, the decision said that the February 5 impeachment complaint was transmitted to the Senate without a plenary vote in the House. A simple check of the records, specifically House Journal number 36, shows that this is false. Walang haka-haka. Those official records are plain for anyone to see. Sabi tuloy ni retired Chief Justice Renato Espuno, na siyang chairman ng Philippine Constitution Association, the Supreme Court was faced with a famine of facts necessary to make a decision invulnerable to constitutional assaults. Pangalawa, actions already taken under a prior and valid interpretation should be recognized as legally effective. Yan naman ay mula kay retired Justice Adolf Ascuna. The House of Representatives was operating under the regime of the legal doctrines in Francisco and Gutierrez, which held that the initiation of impeachment proceedings begins from referral. Kung unconstitutional pala na sundin ang legal doctrines, in the words of Justice Ascuna, That is legally unfair. Paano nga naman unconstitutional kung sinunod lang nila ang patakaran ng mismong Korte Suprema? Dagdag pa po sa isang desisyon nitong 2020 lamang, Madreo versus Byron. Sabi ng korte na kung may pagbabago sa doktrina at interpretasyon ng batas, dapat prospective ang aplikasyon nito. At ang pangatlo at huling punto, mistulang nadagdagan ang requirements sa proseso ng impeachment na hindi naman nakasaad sa ating saligang batas. These new limitations, Mr. President, are not found in our fundamental law. Wala yan sa konstitusyon at kontra yan sa accountability. One disturbing example, sabi ng desisyon, kailangan daw na isumite na ang bawat ebidensya laban sa opisyales sa pag-file pa lang ng complaint sa House. Dapat ba naka-attach na ang bawat bank slip, public record o testimonya ng witness na ihaharap kahit wala pa silang proteksyon ng Senate Impeachment Court? Ang tanong tuloy ng marami, realistic ba yan? Paano kung ang impeachment ay laban sa mataas na opisyal na kayang-kayang magtago ng ebidensya o manakot ng mga potential witness? Bakit humaba yata ang checklist ng proteksyon para lang sa impeachable officials? Samantalang ang taong bayan na nagtatanong, na naniningil ng pananagutan, sila pa ang pinahirapan. Sila pa ang nadagdagan ang requirements. Ayon sa Korte Suprema, an official facing impeachment does not stand to lose fundamental constitutional rights such as life, liberty, or property. Hindi buhay, kalayaan, o pag-aari ang inihahabla sa impeachment. Kung ang usapan naman ay due process, hindi ba't ang mismong impeachment trial na nga ang mismong venue para doon? Maririnig ang dalawang panig. May ebidensya, may magdedepensa. That is due process. So what are we afraid of? At dahil nandito rin po sa gallery ngayon, Mr. President, ang isa sa mga constitutional commissioners na si Christian Monsod, di lalo po akong confident na mag-take exception sa isang sinabi kanina ng good gentleman mula sa Taguig at Pateros na dapat mahirap ang proseso ng impeachment. Kontra po doon ang pananaw ng Constitutional Commission kung mababasa po natin ang records ng deliberations ng komisyon, partikular sa panig ni Commissioner Regalado. Muli, patuloy nating nirerespeto ang Korte Suprema. Pero pwede mong respetuhin ang isang institusyon habang nagtatanong at pinag-uusapan ang kanyang desisyon. In Firestone Ceramics Inc. versus Court of Appeals, the court conceded that it is not infallible. Should any error of judgment be perceived, sabi nila, it does not blindly adhere to such error. In this jurisdiction, rectification of an error more than anything else is of paramount importance. In the 2010 letter that I mentioned earlier, the UP law professors said that the position of the Supreme Court as the final arbiter of all controversies requires competence and integrity completely above any and all reproach. A breach of these values, the professor said, does violence to the primordial function of the Supreme Court as the ultimate dispenser of justice. And the UP Law Dean who led that letter to the Supreme Court, walang iba po kundi ang nagsulat ng desisyon na ating pinag-uusapan. Dear Mr. President, dear colleagues, I believe this decision is of the highest public interest, whose consequences will echo through time and history. Maraming taon mula ngayon, pag-aaralan at hihimayin ito ng lahat. Mula sa mga estudyante, mga journalist, mga political analyst, mga academics, at higit sa lahat ng ating mga kababayan. One day, and this day will come, history will judge all of us based on our actions today, August 6, 2025. When history comes to remember, let's hope we stood where it mattered, that even in the face of doubt, we did what was right and just. With deep respect for the Supreme Court and all institutions of our country, Mr. President, I therefore second the motion to table the motion to dismiss the impeachment complaint until the decision of the Supreme Court has attained finality. Salamat po, Mr. President.
Mr. President, quick reaction.
Noted and entered into the records. Senator Marcoleta.
Mr. President, unang-una, yung sinabi ko pong speculative, sapagkat it was not based on my own speculation. It was based on my long practice as a litigation lawyer. Wala pa po akong nakitang isang unanimous decision. Ewan ko lamang po kung merong magbo-volunteer ngayon na abogado in the last 40 years na sinasabi ang isang unanimous decision na ang karakter niya ay sinabi na ab initio, void ab initio, unconstitutional, violative of due process. Maybe if we can speculate that all the members of the Supreme Court after the filing of the motion for reconsideration will resort to their worst will resort to the worst angels of their nature. Maybe baka ganun lang. What do we expect? We expect that 8 of them will reverse themselves altogether. Kung sakasakali naman po na in-archive natin or whatever word is applicable at sinabi under miraculous circumstances sinabi ng Supreme Court, we are all reversing ourselves. Eh di continue natin. Anong problema? Pero kagaya po na sinasabi ko kanina, Mr. President, ang pagkakaluto nga po ay hilaw eh. Ipinipilit po ngayon ipakain sa Senado ang isang bagay na hilaw. Eh paano? Sinabi po kayong mag-impeach? Hindi po. Binigyan po tayo ng guidelines. Alam po ba ninyo kung bakit binigyan na ng guidelines ng Supreme Court kung paano mag-impeach? Kasi po, Mr. President, if you recall, the Supreme Court issued a notice on July 8, 2025 requiring at least 11 information from the House of Representatives and the Senate. The Senate made a manifestation na wala po kaming maibibigay sapagkat lahat po niyan ay makukuha ninyo sa House of Representatives. Alam po ba ninyo na 4 sa hinihingi ng Supreme Court ay nandun po sa puso ng due process? Ano po yung hinihingi? Sinabi lamang po ng Supreme Court, pwede bang ibigay nyo sa amin kung lahat ng miyembro ng House of Representatives ay binigyan ninyo ng kopya at kailan? Pwede bang ibigay nyo sa amin ang timing kung kailan nyo ibinigay at binigyan, kung paano nyo sila binigyan ng pagkakataong mabasa yung impeachment complaint? Pwede nyo bang ibigay sa amin kung every article of impeachment ay nakalagay doon ang mga dokumento na nagpapatibay ng artikulo? Pwede nyo bang ibigay sa amin kung nagkaroon sila ng pagkakataon talaga na mabasa yung impeachment complaint? Alam po ba ninyo kung anong sagot ng Solicitor General in behalf of the House of Representatives? Ito po yung sagot nila. It is the position of the House that these matters pertain to its internal proceedings, which have always been regarded as beyond the jurisdiction and scrutiny of this honorable court. Sa Tagalog po, wala po kayong pakialam dito sa amin. Yung inihingi po ninyo, kami lang po yun. Eh para tinatanong lang naman po eh. Binigyan nyo ba ng pagkakataon sila na mabasa? Bakit? Mahirap po ba sagutin yun? Ano pa po sinabi? This is especially because the matters referred to the preparation, circulation, and perusal of the impeachment complaint as well as its attachment are not governed by specific constitutional provision or the House rules. So dahil po wala sa Constitution at wala rin po sa House rules, ano po yun? Wardi-wardi na lang. So ibig sabihin talaga, kaya po pala ang dami kong kasama doon, wala talaga silang kopya. Ako nga po hindi nabigyan eh. Bakit hindi po kinakailangan bigyan lahat? Baka sakaling, malay po ninyo, baka pumirma ako, hindi ba? Ito yung tinatanong po ng Korte Suprema. Kaya lang po siya nakapagbigay ng additional guideline sapagkat isip-isipin nyo, sasabihin sa Korte, wala nang pong masamang tinapay ang Korte. Pwede bang malaman namin kung talaga nagkaroon ng pagkakatong mabasa man niya lang, ma-appreciate ang bawat dokumento na nakasalig dyan sa impeachment na yan. Para sa ganun, ay boboto siya sang-ayon sa kanyang sariling kagustuhan. Matibay ang gusto ng Korte Suprema. Gusto niyang makita na lahat ay dumaan sa kaayusan. Eh hilaw nga po eh, Mr. President. Kanina ko pa po pinaiintindi, hilaw. Ba't hindi po kayo magluto ng mas masarap na kanin? Para sa ganun po, hindi tayo mahirapan. Maghintay na lang po kayo ng 6 months. Pwede naman eh. Ba't pinipilit po natin ng isang bagay na hilaw at pinipilit niyong ipakain sa atin? Mr. President, sabi ko po kanina, Mr. President, I am ready to amend my motion. Kung kinakailangan po, that will be consistent on the respect accorded to the Supreme Court. Kaya lamang po, kailangan nating umaksyon sapagkat kagaya po ng nalalaman natin, naghihintay ang taong bayan na kailangan magkaroon po ng closure ito sapagkat kapag ito will be hanging on the balance, baka hindi po mabutihin ang ating mamamayan. Yun lang naman po ang pinakapunto rito, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator Marcoleta.
President.
Yes, what is the pleasure of the Honorable Antiveros?
Thank you, Mr. President, and to the good gentleman from Pampanga. Gusto ko lang pong bigyan ng point of information, sagot dun sa tanong ng good gentleman mula sa Tarlac, that in fact, the Supreme Court has reversed a unanimous decision in a lot of instances before. Dalawa lang po ang ibibigay kong halimbawa. League of Cities of the Philippines versus COMELEC. Original decision, 2008. Reversal on motion for reconsideration, 2009. Isa pa pong halimbawa, International Service for the Acquisition of Agri-Biotech Applications Inc. o ISAA et al. Versus Greenpeace Southeast Asia. Original decision, unanimous, December 8, 2015. Reversed unanimously on MR din, July 26, 2016. So, hindi lang po tulad nung sinabi ni Minority Leader na there's always a first time, it has happened before. So, yung ganitong klaseng milagro na hinahanap, posibleng mangyari din po dito sa kasong pinag-uusapan natin. Malay po natin. Salamat po, Mr.
Noted.
President. Salamat
Mr.
sa good
President,
gentleman
may I know
from Tarlac.
from the
Entered
good
into the
senator,
record. Senator Marcoleta.
may I know from the good senator if these decisions are bank decisions or divisions?
Yes, Mr. President, unbanked decisions po.
Well, you have to cite the
I would gladly
jurisprudence.
cite the GR number po bang hinihingi, Mr. President?
Pagka sinabi pong bank, lahat po ng members ng Supreme Court, 15 of them, unanimous.
To
Kasi po
reiterate what
baka division lang yan, dahil 5 lang yun. Hindi po
No,
bank
Mr.
yun.
President, to reiterate what I already said, mga ano po ito, mga reversal ng unanimous Supreme Court decisions.
Yes, but I am
Sa
asking for
dalawang
qualification,
halimbawang
Mr. President,
binigay ko
whether
po
these are bank
on
decisions
MR.
or decisions by a division. And whether or not they
Mr.
were
President,
characterized
sinabi
by...
ko rin na po kanina ang
Sandali
bank
po.
decisions po ito. Ay, hindi po.
Whether or
I
not
am
the
replying to the
decisions
question.
are characterized by the following qualifications. 1, unconstitutional, void ab initio, violative of due process. All these are present in those jurisprudence cases as you cited.
Mr. President,
President.
Mr. President, bagamat para itong yung pinag-uusapan natin kaninang operative facts, kanina simple lang yung tanong eh. May kaso na po ba na ang Supreme Court sa unanimous decision ay ni-reverse ang sarili nila? Ngayon may dinadagdag na tanong. Pero sige po, yung League of Cities of the Philippines versus COMELEC, the Supreme Court in its original decision in 2008 unanimously declared the cityhood laws unconstitutional. I will have to get more information po on the ISAA reversal of unanimous decision. Pero malinaw na mga sagot na po ito dun sa original na tanong. So the original assertion na hindi po natin alam.
Ako nang nag-initiate ng press con na ito kasi alam ko yung marami sa inyo ay sa mga nakakaraang mga araw ay hindi nila ako ma-interview kasi hindi naman ako talaga nagpapa-interview. Ngunit naisip ko na parang yung narrative hindi masyadong nagiging maganda. Gusto ko linawin ng maraming bagay na may kinalaman nga dun sa very short-lived na pangunguna ko sa Blue Ribbon Committee. Halos 3 investigations lang yung ating natapos at nagkaroon na nga ng development at yun naman ay alam na ninyo. Ngayon dahil nga dun sa mga pangyayari na yan, meron akong gustong mga issue na dapat ituwid. Gusto kong unahin yung tungkol dun sa punta nung Bryce Hernandez sa custodial investigation sa Camp Crame. Sapagkat kung alam naman ninyo, yun ay na-cite natin in contempt dahil nga sa tahasang pagsisinungaling niya, harap-harapan, ipinakikita na namin sa kanya mga dokumento, pati nga yung ginagamit niyang mga peking IDs na inisyo ng LTO. Pero ganun pa rin ang pagkakatanggi-tanggi niya. Napilitan kami na i-contempt siya at nailagay nga siya sa custody ng ating Sergeant at Arms. Kalaunan po nung ako po ay mapalitan na bilang chairman ng Blue Ribbon Committee, ay bigla nga pong hiniram yata si Bryce Hernandez ng ating House of Representatives. Ngunit nalaman ko na hindi naman siya ibinalik sa dating legal custody na dito nga sa ating Senado. Ang tinatanong ko po sa ating Senate President, naging kondisyon naman ng pagpapahiram niya yung madalian at ligtas na pagbabalik kay Bryce Hernandez pagkatapos ng hearing. So tinatanong ko lang naman po siya, bakit naman nanatili siya sa custodial center ng Camp Crame? Ang sagot po niya, alam na rin po ninyo, yun ay request ng Speaker ng House of Representatives. Na sa tingin po namin ay hindi naman yata tama sapagkat ang legal custody nga ay sa Senate. Ang sabi ko ay po kami sablay doon sapagkat muna yung kondisyon na ibinigay mo hindi tinupad. Pangalawa, kapag kayon ay pinanatili mo sa Quezon City, sangayon na rin sa kanyang declaration, natatakot siya na pag ibinalik siya sa Senado, manganganib ang buhay niya. Parang binibigyan natin ng credence. Parang pinaniwalaan natin siya. Sa mga kapatid, pagka siya ay nagsasalita rito sa Senado, parang hindi siya pinaniniwalaan. Pag nagsalita siya sa House of Representatives, tiwalang-tiwala ng kanyang sinasabi, puro totoo. Samantalang, puro kasinungalingan din naman ang kanyang sinabi. At nung kami magkaroon nga ng konting huddle nung bumaba siya sa session hall, sinabi ko sa kanya, Mr. President, dapat naman sana nakonsulta mo naman ako kung siya ay tuluyan mong ilalagak sa pangangalaga ng custodial center ng Quezon City. Bakit ko naman gagawin? Sabi niya, ako naman ang Senate President. Nakalimutan po niya na meron po tayong tuntunin sa Blue Ribbon Committee. Ito po ay nasa Article 6, Section 6, Paragraph C ng rules ng Blue Ribbon Committee. Kailangan po malaman ninyo. Ang sinasabi po ron, yung witness na cited in contempt may be ordered to be detained in such a place as may be designated by the committee alone. Meron pong option doon or with the concurrence of the Senate President. Sa mga tweed, yun lamang designated place by the committee alone, sapat na yun Kaya ko sinabi, dapat kinonsulta mo ko. Kaya lang, sabi niya, napalitan ka na Bakit pa kita kukonsultahin? Hindi po Nung kinumit niya sa Quezon City Custodial Center, na-monitor ko sa bilyonaryo at sa ibang mga pahayagan, Inquirer, mga 2:15, 1:30 to 2:15 p.m. ang nakalagay sa mga dyaryo. For the record, nung ako po ay napalitan is about 5:24 in the afternoon. So ako pa rin ang chairman. So gusto ko lang linawin yun. Ang pangalawa po rito ay yung aking sulat sa DOJ na bilang nananatiling chairman noon ng ating Blue Ribbon Committee, nirekomenda ko po na siya ay makapag-apply sa Witness Protection Program. Sa ngayon po sa Republic Act 6981. Kasi po sinasabi rin po sa Section 4 na sinasabi na sa kaso ng legislative investigation in aid of legislation, yung witness po, upon his express consent, ay pwede siyang ma-admit into the program upon the recommendation of the Legislative Committee where his testimony is needed. So yun po yung aking ginawa. Ibig sabihin, lahat po ng aking ginawa na aksyon ay naaayon naman sa batas na umiiral. Provided that the recommendation is approved by the Senate President. Hindi nga po niya inapprove, kaya po yun ang tinanong ko sa kanya noong September 9 na po yata yun na nagkaroon kami ng session. O September 10 na po yata yun. Ang sabi niya, kaya hindi niya inapprove, nabasa niya yung sinabi ng SOJ na kinakailangan ng mga diskaya. Ibalik nila yung kanilang nakuhang hindi kanila. Yun ang magiging policy ng DOJ para sa ganoon ay ma-approve yung kanyang aplikasyon under the WPP. Nagtaka nga po ako kung bakit ganoon ang sinabi ng ating SOJ sapagkat linggo, isang araw bago pasimulan natin yung pangatlong investigation, nagkausap po kami. Pati yung kanyang deputy undersecretary, ang pangalan ay Jojo Cadiz. Nakausap ko yun ng mga ilang araw, siguro Biyernes hanggang Sabado. Sinasabi ko sa kanya yung maaaring merong lumabas sa mga contractors na kasangkot dito sa aming pag-imbestiga sapagkat nagpapadala sila ng feelers na maaaring may magsabi and they will come into the open. So I was looking at the possibility of granting them provisional immunity. Ang sabi naman nung Yusek Cadiz, mabuti po kanya i-repair ko rin sa ating SOJ. Sabi ko, tamang-tama yan. Hanggang sa araw nga ng linggo, nagkausap kami personal. At tahasan niyang sinabi sa akin, pwede yan, sabi niya sa akin. Alam niyo naman, si Secretary Boying Rimulya, matalikong kaibigan niya, matagal kami nagsama sa House of Representatives. So pinanghawakan ko yung kanyang sinabi sa akin. Alam mo naman kanya, ang Senado ay kabatakan